Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm your host, Feliz Theodora, and I'm a student at IPK Christian High School, and I'm also part of the Student Council. Right now, we're joined by two very special people. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Hi, I'm Eugene. I'm one of the guests here, and I'm a high school student in IPECA.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Yeah, hi, I'm Benedicta. I'm a 10th grade student in IPECA Christian High School.
All right, those were some interesting introductions. Where are those from? Are they from that game you play? Was it Genshin?
Oh yeah, it's from Genshin, and my line is from an Archon named Zhangli.
Yeah, my line is from a traveler named Kazuha.
Of course, sure. So, aside from that, thank you for your introductions. Right now, we're going to talk about a memorable event, maybe something funny or something interesting. I'm sure we've all experienced something like that we would like to share with other people. To kick this off, I'm going to tell my experience first. When I was little, I went to the mall. I guess that people who live in Balikpapan will know this mall. It's Plaza Balikpapan. I went there with my mom, dad, and grandma. So my dad dropped us off at the entrance while he went to park the car. I remember this so vividly. He wore a shirt with blue, white, and red stripes. When we entered the mall, I saw a man around my dad's height, and he was also wearing a striped shirt. So I thought, oh, this must be dad, and I just went up to him. I remember my mom saying, wait, no, that's not dad. But it was too late, and I already ran up to him and took his hand. Like, I held his hand. That was so embarrassing. And instead of saying sorry, I thought you were someone else. I started a conversation. I asked him, hey, what's your name? And all that stuff. So, yeah, from that experience, I learned to just look closely before assuming and just running up to random people and starting up random conversations.
Oh my gosh, actually, these things also happened to me before, and it was quite similar to your story. I know how it actually feels like, and it was so funny that things like this have ever happened to you too.
Yeah, wow, that's really embarrassing. But I think most of us have experienced something similar to that too. So don't worry, Tel.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Eugene. Thanks, Bene, for saying that it's embarrassing. I know. What about you, girls? Do you have any memorable experiences that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, actually, I do. So when I was in 7th grade, there was a history assignment to make a video in groups about, if I remember correctly, the history of Indonesia. But at first, it made me question, why are we get this? Why are we got this text? What's the point of this? Me and my best friends were in the same group because we could choose our own group members. Almost every day for a month or so, we went to another different locations and recorded the assignment there. Turns out from its recording session, I got many fun memories. Like there's that one time when we recorded it while sitting on the grass under a tree, and there were so many ants there. Then there was this time in a park where we like to play and sit on an old rocking horse while waiting for our turn to record each other. Besides those, we also recorded it in many other places, like in a beach, restaurant, and even inside the car. The most memorable one was when we recorded it in the park I mentioned before, and it suddenly started raining. We didn't bring any umbrellas, so we ran to someone's house we don't know. When we arrived there, our uniforms were all wet. Thankfully, two of us brought phones and used them to call our parents. Then, for a few minutes, we talked and laughed together while waiting for my and my one other's parents to pick us up. Finally, our parents arrived. Then we took our own backpacks from one of our houses. And yeah, we said goodbye and went to our own house. So, from that, I learned that something we don't like or feel boring at these times may not always feel the same. It may turn out to be better and fun, just like my experience.
Oh, I remember that. It was pretty tiring at that time, but now it's a really fun experience to look back on. Actually, both of us, me and Bene, we were in the same group, weren't we?
Ha, yeah.
Do you do you still keep the shells we collected from the beach?
Sadly, I don't. I forgot where I last put it.
Oh, that's too bad. I still keep mine. Okay, thanks for sharing, Bennett. That was awesome. Now, Eugene, do you have any you'd like to share?
Mm-hmm. But before I tell you about my story, I have this one personality trait that still exists until now, and that is clumsiness. So when I was in elementary school, when it came to like go home, I'm super excited, like, oh, I can't wait to leave and go home to relax. And sometimes when I'm too excited to go home, I forget my lunchbox. In elementary school, we put our lunchboxes behind the class. And sometimes I forget I had even brought a lunchbox. So I just go straight home. So that's what happened in my story. And then when I arrived at home, suddenly my mom came and asked me, "Where is your lunchbox?" And my brain was processing like, "Oh no, I must have forgotten my lunchbox at school." I didn't have any excuses for her, so I just told her the truth. Of course, my mom got mad at me, but then she said it's okay, but don't forget to bring it home tomorrow morning. And I was like, okay, but this situation didn't happen only once, but it happened so many times when I was in elementary school. I got distracted a lot by my excitement, and sometimes I would forget the important stuff. It was quite a ridiculous story that I'm too clumsy, but what I learned from my story is that I'm allowed to be excited about anything, but I shouldn't forget the things that are important that I have to do.
True, very true. Sometimes we get too excited about something and forget about other things that are possibly more important. Wow, compared to your stories, mine is not that deep. Anyway, Eugene, do you still forget things often now?
Of course, I do sometimes, and it's gonna be irritating for some people, especially in a teamwork. So that's why I often warn them that sometimes I could forget some things that I have to prepare in the teamwork. So I would prefer them to rely on someone else. But I think that's not a good idea because I also need to learn and change to be better than before. So I would also love to volunteer them to trust on me.
Yeah, I can relate to that too, Eugene. I'm also clumsy and tend to forget other important things.
That's really relatable. I think everyone's forgetful sometimes. Okay, thank you for sharing, girls. So before wrapping up our podcast, I'd like to thank the guests, Bene and Eugene, and also you guys for tuning into our podcast. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.